Gold Rush exclusive. Tony Beets frozen Hunker cut yields car-sized Boulder on Gold Rush for discovery. The Beets goes on as Tony Beets thanks his lucky stars that he has such great kids to help him realize his gold recovery projections for this season. Paradise Hill is where Team Beets is working. The king of the Klondike lost rights to mine on the Indian River, so Paradise Hill is the spot. Ruby Mahoney is part of his crew and is part of the team that has the plant running 24/7. New driver Elena Jensen is also part of the Beets team. But Tony needs another plant running to keep up with projected gold. The Nugget Cut is looking skint for gold prospects, so Beets contemplates moving out of the cursed, waterlogged Hunker Cut and perhaps moving the operation to Mega Cut or the 18-acre 80 pup. TV shows as exclusive preview shows how Beets is managing the Hunker Cut workarounds. The oldest son, Kevin Beets, is in charge of the Hunker Cut. To bust through the frozen ground and make it thaw out faster, Mike Beets sinks the D11's 1-ton ripper shank over 6 feet into the earth. Tony's younger son says, "And when that stuff gets frozen like permafrost frozen holy *******, is it hard? They've had that rattle a piss out of me. We ain't got time for that. It's a short season, so you rip. Driving to the cut, Tony Beets says, "Okay, I'm counting on Kevin and Mike to keep this box going 24 hours a day." Off we go. The freshly ripped up pay dirt is all they've got to feed the trommel, and Tony wants it running at 200 yards an hour. One of the crew, Brad Merritt, says, "Jesus, a lot of frozen chunks going up that belt. No time whatsoever to be pulling out chunks when you're running at full force. That one's as big as a car. A 1/4-ton frost chunk has jammed the belt, and basically the chunks are too big, because there is no reason that frost chunks and rocks that big should be anywhere in the feeder." Seeing trouble ahead, Kevin Beet radios for help. He says, get the water. I think another blockage." He adds, "Amazing. It's *****ing amazing. Now, this is the last thing we need right now. We only have the trommel going. I mean, it is a big producer, but the big producers are producing. You got all." Parker is weighing the financials of Mud Mountain. Former Marine Froggy Jordan Ace and claim owner Ken Tatlow, who is 82, are tasked with moving the dirt on Team Schnepple. Jordan Tatlow is in his first season mining, and Froggy is cracking the whip on him. Fred Lewis is pushing through his California Creek. He has half a crew and has no gold to show for his efforts. But things are looking up, as his investors have infused his operation with cash to upgrade his trommel, and new blood is en route to help him. You meet a newcomer. Team Beets expands as we meet Michael Beets, making 2 Mike Beets on the Beets crew, and yes, they are related. Handsome Tony is Michael's nephew. His prior work experience was farming. Despite the lack of mining experience, Tony gives his blessing and the keys to the D10 dozer. And Monica Beets cuts her maternity leave as Minnie Beets watches her baby girl Jasmine. Gold Rush airs Friday at 8 p.m. ET/PT on Discovery. Gold Rush exclusive. Tony Beets frozen Hunker Cut yields car-sized Boulder in the harsh, unforgiving world of gold mining. The search for hidden treasures often comes down to one simple truth. You never know what you're going to find. Every day spent excavating the frozen earth of the Klondike is a gamble, an unpredictable venture that could lead to massive fortunes or crushing disappointment. Yet, for one of the most iconic and larger-than-life personalities in the Gold Rush franchise, Tony Beets, that uncertainty is just part of the thrill. This season, Beets' infamous frozen Hunker Cut, a site known for its rugged conditions and icy obstacles, has yielded an extraordinary discovery, one that no one could have predicted. It wasn't the glitter of gold that caused the biggest stir this year, but something far more massive, far more unexpected. A car-sized boulder that nearly stopped the operation in its tracks. While gold is the ultimate prize, it's the hurdles that shape a miner's legend, and in Beets' case, this obstacle is just another chapter in a career marked by defiance, determination, and a certain chaotic brilliance. The Hunker cut and the frozen Challenger Steny Beets has long been a pioneer in the Klondike, where he commands his crews with an iron fist and an unrelenting drive. For years, his Hunker Creek operation has been one of the most successful in the region, and yet it is also one of the most perilous. Hunker Creek is famous for its frozen ground, where the permafrost can make even the simplest of tasks feel like a battle against nature itself. It's one thing to mine in the summer when the earth softens, but winter conditions take the game to an entirely different level. Beets' Hunker Cut is located in a section of Hunker Creek that is particularly just the frozen surface, it's the hidden dangers beneath. Rocks, boulders, and other geological oddities that lie buried in the earth. When the earth is frozen solid, the machinery used to dig and excavate is rendered nearly useless in the face of such obstacles. Working here, it's not just about digging for gold, Tony Beets explained in a rare interview. It's about getting through the frozen rocks, the ice, the stuff you can't even see. You don't know what's down there until you hit it. And when you do, well, it's usually not something you want to see. This year, the crew at Beets' operation found themselves in an even tighter spot than usual. After weeks of grueling work, with temperatures plunging into the sub-zero range, the miners began breaking through a particularly thick layer of permafrost in the Hunker Cut. As they slowly chipped away at the frozen ground, something unusual began to emerge. The discovery. A car-sized boulderite began with a low, grinding noise from the machinery, followed by a violent jolt that shook the entire rig. For a moment, there was confusion. Then the crew realized what had happened. A massive, ice-entombed boulder had been unearthed, but this was no ordinary rock. The object was gargantuan, weighing several tons and measuring nearly the size of a car. The miners stood in stunned silence, unsure of how to proceed. Such a discovery was unheard of, especially in this part of the creek. Tony Beets himself, who is known for his unflappable nature and years of experience, was momentarily at a loss for words. I've seen a lot of crazy stuff in my time, but this was something else, Tony admitted. We knew we were dealing with frozen ground, but this rock, it came out of nowhere. The discovery raised immediate concerns for the operation. The sheer size and weight of the boulder meant that the mining equipment, which was already struggling to break through the ice, could be at risk of damage. The machinery needed to continue mining the gold was no small investment, and the logistics of removing the boulder, if it could even be moved, seemed like an insurmountable challenge. In the early days of the gold rush, miners had no choice but to work around obstacles like these. But with modern equipment and a crew of skilled operators, Beets and his team were determined not to let the frozen rock derail their progress. But that was easier said than done. The logistics of removal when a boulder that size is unearthed, the standard procedure is to use hydraulic equipment to break it apart. However, as anyone who has worked in the Klondike knows, nothing goes according to plan. The immense weight of the boulder posed a unique challenge. Simply crushing it using hydraulic pressure wasn't an option, as the risk of damaging vital equipment was too high. The crew had to get creative. Beets, ever the innovative thinker, took to his favorite solution: brute force. He instructed the crew to bring in the largest bulldozer on site and tried to lift the massive boulder using chains and a series of mechanical winches. But even with all their combined might, the boulder wouldn't budge. It was stuck fast, encased in ice and permafrost. "We've had some big rocks in the past, but this one was something else," Beets said. "The guys were pushing, pulling, digging, but this thing just wouldn't move. It was like it had been there forever, just waiting for us." The team spent days trying different techniques, from using explosives to break the rock down to digging around it with a backhoe to free it from the ice. But nothing seemed to work. The crew was running out of time as the winter season wore on, and with the gold extraction season winding down, they were under pressure to make some headway. A cold breakthrough it wasn't until the crew began using heat to melt the permafrost surrounding the boulder that they finally made progress. With a combination of blowtorches and heat lamps, they started to thaw out the surrounding earth, bit by bit. This took days of constant effort, but eventually, they managed to free the massive rock from its icy tomb. When the boulder finally rolled free from its icy prison, the team was exhausted but relieved. It was a monumental effort that required every ounce of energy, skill, and creativity the team had. And while the boulder wasn't the gold they were after, it was a symbol of the perseverance and resilience that has defined Beets' mining career. We're not here to just find gold. We're here to beat the earth into submission, to push through whatever it throws at us," Beets declared with his signature grin. "And when you find something this big, it's not just a setback. It's a reminder that nothing is easy out here." The bigger picture in the end, the frozen boulder didn't halt Beets' operation, it only delayed it temporarily. After weeks of struggle, the team managed to resume their mining efforts and began uncovering rich